It's Friday. It's time for another edition of Feel Good Friday. Today I'm going to talk about folklore. I'm going to share with you some stories of my family, and I hope they are of interest to you. I'm going to start with the story of my maternal great grandfather. Alberta, Canada, where I was raised, was just opening up in the 1900s to the 1910s, and this gentleman was riding the rails, let's be honest. And as the story goes, a person on the railroad company came and saw this person and a few other people, and he picked up his hat and he threw it off. And apparently my great grandfather didn't want to lose his hat. So there he jumped off the train, and there you know, next thing you know, there's 4 generations being raised in that area because of that hat. Wouldn't it be neat if I could see that hat? My whole existence is a result of that hat. On my mother's grandfather's side is a story of a gentleman who came to us from the Czech Republic. He was single. He came to try and farm all by himself. We speculate that maybe he was dodging the draft, who knows, but he came from the Czech Republic, etc. Rumor has it that, like, when you came to Alberta, you could buy a very small parcel of land for like $5. If you built a residence on there 5 years later, you could get another one for free. And once again, rumor, it's folklore. I don't know if it's fact. Speculation is that if you didn't find a woman in that space of time, you were obligated to move on. And once again, the folklore says that there was one woman available, but I don't think my great grandpa was interested. So some way, somehow, he came upon a bread recipe from a woman in Tyler, Texas, which is an awful long ways away. They started corresponding, and eventually he told her to come up and marry him sight unseen. Well, my great grandmother's family brother said, well, what kind of a man is this? He has to come down here. So he went down to Tyler, Texas, and I believe it was in 2007, he married her sight unseen. Wow, I love those sort of stories. Wouldn't I give anything to be able to see that bread recipe that, once again, I wouldn't exist if it wasn't for that bread recipe. Another story I have, once again, of opening up in southern Alberta. There was a lot of school districts. They were all one-room school. And my grandmother was a teacher there. There she met my grandfather. Now, she died very young. She died in 1933, 3 years after my dad was born. And on her tombstone, there is the dates of her birth and death. A person from California who came up, who shared Dad's lineage, went and showed us all the details. And he said that Grandma was actually about 5 or 6 years older than she claimed to be. And we fought that, but no, he had the birth certificate, he had the death certificates, he had everything. Why? What we think happened is, we believe society back then, it was completely not tolerant of a younger man marrying an older woman. Once again, I don't know if these stories are true, but I love sharing them. I love sharing stories from past generations and passing it on. And what I want to leave you with the message is, share your stories. Share your stories with your children or your grandchildren, because who knows, those stories, which may not be that important to you, may mean the world to them. Now go out and share a story, and make sure you have a great week.